Good morning. How are you?
For some passengers arriving in Australia, getting the attention of customs isn't hard.
I started the joke, and the whole world was crying.
Today, a passenger has returned home after spending 1 month overseas. He says he's been away on business, but it appears he's mixed in a little pleasure on the flight home.
What's in that one?
This one is my stainless steel doors. Right?
All right, so these are all your work ones, yeah.
This might.
He's just going to X-ray it, make sure there's nothing untoward.
I can't believe this.
The passenger says he's been away selling insulation in Africa and Asia. Officers want to be sure that's all he's been doing.
Where he's been and for how long he's been there is a concern to us. And the fact that he was the only one so intoxicated on the flight comes to our attention.
A young Chinese couple have landed at Sydney Airport quarantine, unaware that they may be carrying forbidden items.
That looks like it could be a few apples, maybe a couple of oranges, and there's some other dry fruit along the bottom of the bag as well. It hasn't been declared, so we're definitely going to have a look into that bag.
Okay, we've got fresh fruit here. This isn't allowed in Australia. These are pears or apples?
It's pear.
It's pears. Chinese pears?
Yes.
Okay, guys. Right. Okay, just here. Okay, we've got pork sausages.
It's not ours. It's actually an air flight.
Yeah, they give that out, but what you're supposed to do is eat it on the plane. You're not supposed to bring it in here because, yeah, none of this food. And also, I asked you if you read the question. Okay. And you said you didn't have anything to declare.
Undeclared fruit and pork is bad enough. But as Officer Anne digs deeper, she finds an unusual and extremely high-risk item.
And what's this one?
Oh, that's some snacks.
Some snacks? What sort of snacks are they? You know what they're called? Are they duck tongue?
As thousands of passengers enter Australia every hour, immigration officers must process each one to make sure they are here legitimately. Today, a young New Zealand passenger has been stopped at the border because he has indicated criminal convictions on his passenger card.
In his case, he hasn't been sentenced to more than 12 months in total for a particular sentence. It's all been, I think, 5 months, 8 months, 48 days in one case. But when you look at all the sentences together, it comes up to approximately 14 months in total. And that's what's brought him into the category where he's not eligible for this visa, unfortunately. Just come on through.
So now immigration will interview the passenger to explore other options to allow him into the country.
You're coming to Australia today, from what I understand, to visit your family, is that correct?
Parents, brother and sister.
So, looking at your convictions before, it looked like a lot of them were sort of alcohol related.
Yeah, for sure.
So, you said you've had some counselling or something for that?
And to do it with my partner as well. She didn't like the way I drank, and she could see that I was getting into trouble a lot, so that's why I've stopped.
And with a very special family reunion planned, Zane's mother is anxiously waiting outside for her son.
Actually, I seen him about 6 months ago, and his father hasn't seen him for 2.5 years, so yeah.
But it could be the conditions on Zane's visa which might prevent him making it to the family reunion.
All right, I'm going to have a look in your big suitcase.
You go for your life.
Can I get you
Back
to
in
pass it up
Perth,
here?
it seems this travelling salesman has had a few for the road. Customs are checking his bags for evidence that he's been away on business.
Don't do yourself an injury.
I've got a bad shoulder, so
It's wall cladding,
I'm not supposed to.
insulation. This is what they do. He does as an insulation. Where did you grow up?
Nambucca Heads,
Where's that?
New South Wales.
Ah, Sydney.
No, not Sydney.
Outside Sydney, is it?
No.
In the country?
You go Port Macquarie, right? I gotta shut up. Say hello to Brian Brown, my brother, who's an actor with a broken nose, and I gave it to him.
Brian Brown?
Yeah, Cocktails with Tom Cruise. Aha.
He's not your brother.
Yes, he is.
Is he really?
Excuse me? Would I lie?
The passenger has turned up this morning, come to visit his family, hasn't seen them for about 3 years. He's had rather wild youth, basically most of it booze-fuelled. He's got over that now, so he claims.
The passenger also claims that he needs time with his family as he's going through a rough patch with his girlfriend.
Well, me and her are going for a rough time, you see, so...
Right. This is you and your partner?
My partner,
right.
Yeah, going for a rough time,
yeah.
And pretty much need a break. So, run my parents and I've given her the option to come here.
Now Officer Darrell has another concern. The passenger has no return ticket.
Well, my mother said that she'd booked a ticket. It's in her hands, my ticket.
Oh, okay. Have you ever contacted the Australian Embassy before about coming over to live in Australia?
Yeah, I have, and they said that I needed a visa. I got these letters and all that together, and my partner was supposed to send it away, and I don't know whether she has or not, because she'd done it at work.
At any stage, did anyone say, well, what are we going to do about a visa or anything, or...?
No, not really. Well, my partner was kind of, you better get it sorted. And I was like, don't worry about it, I'll just give it a shot, kind of thing.
Yeah.
And, well, this is what's happened at the end of the day.
He should have known what was going on. He's approached his consulate and looked at it, and he says his partner was supposed to have sent all the details off. But, he's a big boy, and you shouldn't be relying on your partner to decide if you're going to send a visa or not. So I think he was maybe just chancing it, or he could have honestly thought, they've got my details, I haven't heard back, it must be okay.
Either way, without the correct visa, Zane's chances might be running out.
And what's this one? Are they duck tongue?
Yes, that's right.
A young Chinese couple have arrived in Australia for a holiday and have brought with them some high-risk food that has caused concern for quarantine.
It's these things here, and this is from duck, okay? This is a poultry.
Right.
Okay, and with avian influenza at the moment, none of this is allowed into the country,
Right,
okay?
Duck tongue is a staple breakfast and snack food in parts of China, and this couple have brought a fair supply with them.
Well, it's just preserved duck.
The different parts of the
It's
duck.
like this is the duck meat.
Actually, I think sometimes they have the duck insides of the duck as well as the duck tongue.
The different parts of the duck, they cut the different pieces and
Actually,
dry
that looks a bit bigger.
it, preserve it, which makes the pie tasty.
It's really, very popular and normal food in China. So it's nothing, special or nobody would cast any doubt on you if you bring this in China. But I think it's just different customer, really.
This is like a $220 fine.
He did Cocktails with Tom Cruise.
Yeah, I know that. Yeah. So
He's got the confidence of an award-winning actor, and this passenger reckons he's related to one, Brian Brown.
So what's Brian up to then?
He's busy in Zamboanga.
Where's
at the
Zamboanga?
moment. Zamboanga is in the Philippines.
Is that why you went to the
He's making-
Philippines?
Yes. He's
Customs
making a movie
officers
there
use
with-
conversations to determine whether or not a passenger is telling the truth.
What's the name of the movie he's making?
I'm not telling you.
Come on,
No,
give us the heads up.
I can't speak. It's private.
And tell me what sort of
It's
movie it is.
a good movie. It's
Action
not- it's
movie,
not-
spy
it's
movie?
an action movie. All right?
Scary movie?
No. Action.
Can I just get that x-rayed? I'm not letting you go until you tell me the name of the movie.
I will send you an email. You give me your phone
His
number.
bags are clear. However, his story is anything but. Officers suspect he's telling a bit of a tale.
What else do I have to do to you people?
What you have to do is tell us the name of Brian Brown's new movie. I need to know so I know you're not lying to us, see?
Oh,
anyone
yeah.
could say,
that's bullshit.
Anyone could say they're Brian Brown's brother.
Oh, bullshit. Yeah. I'll tell you what I'll do with you. You're an honest man. I want you to look at this. It's 12 years old.
Yeah.
Remember, it's 12 years old.
Yeah.
Okay?
So what's on here?
You have a look. That's what you have to do.
Right. So got Brian on it?
Tens of thousands of letters and packages pass through the Melbourne International Mail Facility each day. Everything is screened by customs and quarantine staff. They use specially trained dogs and highly sophisticated X-ray equipment to help prevent the importation of unlawful goods across the border.
We've got this EMS article come in from Thailand, and it's from a John Smith with no address, so that immediately sets the alarm bells ringing. The image on the X-ray is also suspect. Just having a look, it could be tablets or pills of some sort. It may not. It may be lollies. We just don't know at the moment. But it's certainly worth a look, having come from Thailand and the sender's details, which are obviously bogus, I'd suggest. But what we'll do is we'll take it inside, have it opened, and have a look and see what we've got. Hi, Chris. We've just got this article in EMS from Thailand. As you can see, the sender's a John Smith with no address.
Yep. A bag inside a bag inside a bag. And wrapping. So did it show up as anything at all recognisable?
No, it just looked like a organic mass.
The X-ray picked up a lot of food in their backpacks. So we had some pork sausages off the aircraft, which they've been given on the China flight, which they're supposed to eat on board. But any sort of meat isn't allowed into Australia. We've got a delicacy that a lot of the Chinese like, duck tongue and duck neck. So with avian influenza at the moment, no poultry products, ducks, chicken, like that is not allowed in.
I do apologise for this. So I think I was really in a hurry.
The officer has the authority to issue an on-the-spot fine of up to $220 if they feel the passengers have intentionally brought high-risk food with them. Not exactly the dream start to a holiday.
Okay. What I'm going to do today, I'm just going to give you a warning today.
Thank you very much, madam.
I'm going to give you a written warning though, because this is quite serious stuff that you brought in today. Yeah. Okay. And all this stuff you can't have.
The couple are now free to enter Australia and enjoy their holiday, with the knowledge that in future they will need to be very careful about what they bring with them. At the Melbourne International Mail Facility, customs officers have intercepted a parcel from Thailand that appeared on X-ray to contain either lollies or pills.
It's pills. Yep. Little blue tablets, heart-shaped.
Yeah.
There's quite a few of them.
Customs officers use the NIC test, which requires a small sample to be placed in a pouch.
From Thailand, I'd say they're probably amphetamines or steroids.
Yeah.
And if it is amphetamines, it changes colour. Ah, beautiful.
Well, that's changed pretty quickly, hasn't it?
Straight away.
Straight away to a maroon colour.
So that's a very strong reading for amphetamine.
Yes.
Beautiful. The test is for amphetamine or MDMA, so these could be amphetamine tablets or they could be ecstasy tablets. We'll check on our system to see whether the person who was the intended recipient of the parcel has been recorded with us before. After that, we'll record it in our books, we'll do seizure notices, we'll give it to our detained goods room, and then they'll pass it on to the Federal Police.
Zealand passenger is hoping that there are options which might allow him to stay in the country to attend an important family reunion.
As he admits, he's had a bit of a problem with alcohol, and most of the convictions were actually for traffic-related offences. You know, driving in a dangerous manner. Of course, then he's had his licence disqualified, so as night follows day, his next offence has been driving whilst disqualified. Exceeding the speed limits by more than 50 kilometres or something, so it's recidivist behaviour. And that's why he's ended up getting imprisonment. So he knew he needed a visa, but he thought, see how it goes. But I'll take all my character references just in case.
My concern is that his criminal history is recent, and even though it's traffic offences, that's still serious. And
the fact that he was asked to apply for a visa, he knew that,
yes.
And yet he didn't.
Yeah, so that's gone against him.
So,
yeah.
It can be a difficult decision because he hasn't seen his family for 3 years. So, you know, clearly that'd be good for him to have a holiday and everything. But then again, he'd been told he needed a visa, and yet he thought, oh, well, I'll see how it goes.
Barry, the travelling salesman, has given officers a DVD. It's an unusual thing for a passenger to do, so they're checking its contents.
No? There's no pictures of Brian.
Demonstration.
Oh, you told me Brian was on there.
I didn't tell you anything.
You did. I said, is Brian on there? You said yes.
What am I, a suspect?
Yes.
What is my crime?
Well, it could be. I don't know whether you're telling me the truth, see. That's all I'm trying to work out.
I don't lie, mate.
Finally, the passenger was allowed to go when officers were satisfied he was not bringing anything illegal into the country, except for a few white lies.
Goodbye. It's nice to see you go.
We get passengers that'll tell us all sorts of things to try and put us off. I think we've seen most of them, and generally we can see through them. We're trained in body language and all sorts of questioning. Generally, we can see through when passengers are telling us a story. And I think on this occasion, this gentleman was telling us a bit of a story. Let's go, Barry.
Okay. Goodbye.
Thanks for your time. Thanks for your patience.
Good night, guys. Good to see you. On the road again?
Certainly are.
In Brisbane immigration, Officer Darryl has to confront a passenger with his diminishing hopes of staying in Australia.
Because the embassy had advised you, you did need to apply for a visa, but yet because you didn't, that was basically the clincher. In this situation, we can't actually offer you any other opportunity for a visa here today.
The West Indies.
He must have known he could have been refused entry. The fact that he's brought his supporting documentation with to say that he's a reformed character. So he knew he was taking a risk. It hasn't worked out. He's obviously upset.
Oh, certainly pretty gutted, eh? You know? Then again, it's my fault at the end of the day, eh? You know, I'm the one who's put myself in the situation, so can't really blame anyone.
And waiting outside for her son, Zane's mother is about to be hit with the devastating news.
Oh, God, I've just about given up.
Yeah, he was supposed to be coming to visit you for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay. Unfortunately, because he didn't actually apply for the visa, because of his convictions, he's not actually eligible. We can't let him in the country today. What we can do.
Be here for 2
2 weeks, I know.
It's 21st and his sister's birthday and coincide his birthday.
Apparently he actually got a letter from the embassy, and because he was aware of it, but he thought, oh, well, I'll just chance it and see how it goes. Yeah. And I said, why didn't you supply it? Oh, well, I thought it'd be okay. And unfortunately, it's not okay. For whatever reason, he hasn't got round to it. He's turned up today, and now, unfortunately, we can't let him in the country, even though it's only for 2 weeks. Do you want to come in and see him at least? Oh, yeah. Anyway, yeah.
But some time spent with his mum is better than none.
Don't worry about it too much, okay, sunshine? Okay? Don't worry about it. Okay?
Gotcha, hey.
Don't worry about it. Next time round, okay? Okay? You'll be right.
pass the property.
Immigration officers are meeting on the outskirts of Western Sydney to discuss the day's compliance operation. They hope to find a Chinese woman suspected of living and working in Australia illegally.
We have information that a person who we tried to locate on a previous occasion is now working at this farm. Previously, we went to another farm to locate this person, and the person seen immigration officers entering the property and absconded out the back.
Compliance officers will seek access to the surrounding properties to ensure that all escape routes are covered.
We've just pulled up at a premise, so Daniel's just trying to let us have access now.
Copy that. As far as we know at the moment, there are just a couple of people on the farm. Their status may be okay, so we're going to try and make contact with the owners, have a chat to those people, see what their status is, and take it from there.
Officers need to move quickly to cover such a large property.
We've been given permission to stay on the property.
Copy that. Can you see how many people are on the property?
Still only view that lady in the field at the moment.
Copy that.
However, their element of surprise is suddenly compromised. Customs officers at Sydney Airport's International Mail Handling Unit always take a close look at packages from known source countries for drugs. And today, Officer Kane has just x-rayed a bulky parcel from Thailand.
Oh, here we go. As you can see, the thicker areas here, as opposed to just the central areas where it's not as thick. There's just a massive organic material on the outside of what's supposed to be a car part.
The package might not contain any prohibited substance, but as some organic matter is indicated on the X-ray, Kane decides to have a closer look.
I've just had the tape cut by Australia Post. I can now start to get into it. I don't want to damage it too much.
Officers must take care opening packages. If the Australian Federal Police need to undertake further inquiries, the package needs to be preserved.
From the X-ray image, I'm concerned about basically around the edges, so around the extremities of what's declared as a car part, and all along the edges here. I'm just at the moment looking for a way that I could get into it and possibly locate those thick organic clumps.
From the clear X-ray image, Kane will need to look further to find out what's inside. At Perth Airport, sniffer dogs have reacted to this passenger's luggage.
Yes, you know what's inside the
Quarantine officer Sue suspects there may be organic matter inside.
There's something showed up on X-ray. It looks like a lot of food. We're not quite sure yet, so we're just going to have a look inside. Okay, so you've got some food in your bag here. No, it's dry, completely dry. But it's food. Because you eat it, it's food. And it says here, but any food includes dried.
Layla has just stepped off a flight from Iran. She said she wasn't carrying any food, but Officer Sue is having a hard time convincing her that the spicy nuts in her luggage are actually classified as food.
These in particular, these have got walnuts in. We don't let walnuts into Western Australia, they're prohibited. Some nuts are okay and you're allowed to have them, but you must declare them because you've got some prohibited items here. I'm going to look through the rest of your bags. Do you have other food in your bags? No. You don't have any other food? No. Just here. Just here.
Then, to Sue's surprise, she finds a box full of food.
Is this tea or spices?
It's dried vegetables.
Dried vegetables. So there's more food in here.
And dried vegetables too?
Absolutely.
Okay, just stay there.
Immigration officers have entered a farm on the outskirts of Sydney. They have been granted permission by the owner to search the property. Based on a tip-off, they think they will find an illegal worker. Right now, they have detained this female who was working in one of the fields, but it is unclear whether she is their target.
There's two people on the property. The gentleman appears to be the owner of the property. He's a no interest for us. We just need to go back and get his details for our records. The lady, the worker on the property, seems of interest to us, so we need to further interview her.
Officers gather in one of the sheds to conduct the necessary checks and, through an interpreter, try to confirm the identity of the woman to see if she is their person of interest. It appears that the woman is going to play this the hard way by refusing to cooperate.
Okay, she's still not responding. Can you just try by asking her name, thank you? Ron, I'm still getting nothing. She doesn't want to respond.
But there is a development when a young man arrives.
How you going, sir? Department of Immigration.
Did you ask permission to come
Your
into mine?
No, your father's given us permission to be on the premises. We came here because we have information that this person on the premises that doesn't have a visa in Australia. That's our job, okay? Okay. Now, this lady down here definitely seems to have a problem because we think we've met her before and she's run away from it. We think, we're not 100% sure.
The questioning of the lady continues with little progress. The man is the property owner's son and assumes that it is the immigration officers who are here illegally and thinks that the police should be called.
You want us to call the police? We can get the police down here if you like now. It doesn't
Call
work.
the cops then.
I don't want to call
I know my rights. You put one finger on me, I will see your ass.
Officer Sue has discovered bags full of walnuts, pistachios and raw almonds, which this passenger failed to declare.
A lot of nuts are okay. If they're roasted, most nuts are fine. The fact that you haven't declared any of this food means you've breached quarantine law, so that is quite serious. It's not one or two things, you've got bagfuls of food and you've said no, you don't have any food at all.
As well as the nuts, Sue has discovered something else that hasn't been declared.
Chocolate. If the chocolate's forbidden.
No, chocolate's not forbidden.
Because we eat.
Yeah,
everything we can eat.
All the
for
card,
eating.
The card was asking you, do you have any food? We're not saying that we're going to take it all.
Okay,
yes, but you signed your declaration, which is a legal document, and you said you didn't have any food, so you haven't declared your
The
food.
passenger is becoming increasingly frustrated as she continues to find it difficult to comprehend why she had to declare the food items.
Australia is a free country, and we believe it's free, but now I'm not sure. It's not free.
A large package has arrived at the Sydney International Mail Handling Unit. Now Officer Kane needs to carefully identify the concealment without damaging the package.
How I'd proceed from here, as soon as I can't get in there and identify any organic clump, would probably be to make a small drill hole somewhere in the area where I believe the organic mass is, so really right on the edge of this end of the car park. Then we can take a sample of that, take a swab and do some analysis of it.
Kane carefully drills a hole, hoping to extract some of the organic material on the drill bit so he can test it.
I've just drilled through the plaster. I imagine that's all plaster on the end of the drill. We might take a sample of that, but I'll just poke around and see if I can. I'll use an implement to see if I can poke around and come in contact with any organic material that might be in there, and then we can analyse that.
The substance taken from inside the car part will now be tested by an itomizer to look for any traces of drugs.
It's only looking at minute traces, so it only has to have a slight amount of contact with a narcotic substance. The system also identifies explosive substances, and it'll tell us. So I just take the sample, place it in the machine. Now it's given us a drugs detected, so it's come up with the red screen, which is our main alert. Down here it tells us it's identified ephedrine.
Ephedrine is a precursor drug in the production of methamphetamine, including speed, and is a restricted substance. This means Kane needs to look further to confirm exactly what he's dealing with.
You want us to call the police? We can get the police down here if you like now. It doesn't
Call
work.
the cops then.
I don't want to call
I know my rights. You put one finger on me, I will see your ass.
You can do. I haven't touched you. I'm saying, do you want us to call
Why
the police?
are you pushing me back then?
I haven't touched it. 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 Okay, this lady has an issue. We want to talk to her. Okay, that's all we want to do. We want to talk to her. Now, if we would like to stay here and talk to her and to identify her. If that's the problem, we'll leave. But she's coming with us.
Immigration compliance officers need to confirm that the identity of this woman matches that of a known illegal worker who previously absconded from compliance officers. But efforts through an interpreter are all met with silence.
It's better for her if she cooperates with us today. We only have a few questions to ask her at the moment, and it's better for her if she starts to cooperate with us and answer our questions for us now.
Still silence, but things down the other end of the shed are getting much more vocal.
No. I have my rights. I'm Australian citizen.
That's great, yeah.
You can call the coppers. You can call the federal police, all right? Doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Okay. You want us to leave the premises? You want us to leave?
I want you outside before you get a warrant. Then you.
Well, no, I've actually got a warrant now. There's the warrant there. There's the warrant.
I said no. You enter before you get. I saw the warrant.
You weren't even here. There's the warrant, sir.
My dad didn't see the warrant. See? If you get translation, okay,
there's the warrant there, mate.
Big warrant. Who takes it?
Hey, excuse me. We've got a warrant beyond premises. We can do this friendly. Hold on. No, forget about that.
Listen. Okay, you listen to my side.
Okay.
If I were going into your front yard without, okay,
you can come into my front yard. You can knock on the door, and you can say, "Excuse me, sir, I want to sell you some encyclopedias." You can do whatever you like. I can say, "Oh, I'm not really interested."
Okay, but you enter without asking my dad.
Again, anyone can enter any property, okay. And in a sense, if you want to call the police, call your lawyer.
Now the argument seems to be turning nasty with personal attacks against the officers.
That's very simple. If you want us to leave, we have a search warrant on the premises. We have the police. We'll wait outside till the police come, and then we'll force entry with a search warrant. But we'd rather do it nice and friendly and just have a chat with this lady.
The other passengers have cleared the terminal. Layla's family wait patiently outside while quarantine officers decide whether to fine her for her prohibited food.
I can't imagine anyone forgetting this much food or not thinking of this much as food, even the chocolate. You don't make things with the chocolate, so obviously it's food. The bag of nuts, it's huge. How can you not think of that as food? You are going to eat them as they are. There was a lot of food. There was food in every bag. So I can't imagine her not knowing that food was in there.
You've committed an offence under the quarantine law by failing to declare items that you're carrying into Australia on your incoming passenger card because of the seriousness of what you're carrying and the risk that it poses to our industry. So today we're going to issue you with an on-the-spot fine of $220.
The prohibited food will now be confiscated and destroyed.
So this is what's happening today. We're seizing these items and these items are clear to go.
After paying her $220 fine, she is free to be reunited with her family. Meanwhile, at Sydney quarantine, an Australian artist living in New York has arrived at the border with a suitcase full of suspect items that he hasn't declared.
So you're saying you have wood. Is there a reason you didn't say yes to wooden articles?
I didn't know that they said any wood. I thought it was about... I thought it was about what I was carrying on me.
When Officer Andrew searches his bags, he finds a large number of paintings and artworks made with wood.
They're all coated in resin.
Yeah, it's more the back that we're interested in because it's open to the...
These works are from New York, where I live these days, and I'm having a show in Sydney like I do sort of every year. And these works here just are paintings that I've been working on lately. As you can see, this is the sort of wood I got.
If there is any sign of borer or disease, the items may have to be treated or destroyed. And with an exhibition in a few days, he could be in real trouble.
We'll look for any sort of telltale holes and bang the pieces on the table to see if any frass were to fall out, which would indicate some hidden insect activity. Make sure you get any frass out of that. Okay, that's fine. Makes you a god, doesn't it?
Is that all right? That's fine?
Yeah, that's all right. There's no sign of any insect activity.
Here we go. A brick.
A brick?
Got a brick in there. All things I find on the street making my installations.
You mean I can't believe you got chicken wire and no chickens? We immediately had a concern that there would be a potential for avian influenza risk with the chicken wire. That's clean. So I need to unwrap that too.
You got something I want to do with. Get a little feature of my artwork on TV, isn't it?
Yeah.
But he's still in trouble for failing to declare the items.
Okay, so just need to issue the verbal warning.
Yeah.
But you must really think hard about those questions, because I can see that you didn't think of your artwork as a wooden article.
I really didn't.
Well, it's a difficult one because he was a non-declarant and he had some risk items that he should have declared, but I felt he genuinely didn't perceive his art as a wooden article.
He could have been fined or even prosecuted for failing to declare his artwork.
I was just told that now. I didn't realise that. That's pretty scary.
If that's a problem, we'll leave, but she's coming with us. That's very simple. If you want us to leave, we have a search warrant on the premises, we have the police, we'll wait outside till the police come, and then we'll force entry with a search warrant, but we'd rather do it nice and friendly and just have a chat with this lady.
Right now, the lady that we are interested in still isn't communicating with us. She's refusing to say anything, both through an interpreter and using one of our Chinese-speaking staff. The son of the property owner has turned up and he's decided to start a bit of trouble. He's insisted on trying to get us out. Upon executing a search warrant, he's then proceeded to get aggressive. He's called some of our staff names. Yeah, basically we've just called the police to arrange for their assistance with continuing the execution of the search warrant here.
The only thing we need to know now is, can we talk to this lady in peace? And then after we go, we'll explain to you what's happening. We need to talk to this lady, we need to interview her and find out what her situation is. We think she has an issue with the department because she's not answering any questions. We have identification that a person we're interested in, and it matches her, pretty closely. Okay, that's what we want to do, okay? You and your father, not an issue. We're on your premises, we'd like to be here and just interview this lady. We have a search warrant to be here. If you're going to physically force us off, that's fine. But
I'm not touching you.
No, I'm not saying, but if you want to do that, that's fine. We'll just wait outside for the police to come back and enforce entry on here.
At the International Mail Handling Unit, an officer has identified a concealment in a car park from Thailand as ephedrine.
The ephedrine could have been a false positive result based on a reaction to some plastics or some chemicals.
So now Officer Kane will continue his investigation.
So I'm going to take another sample of the area, maybe more on the external part of the part, and see if we can bring up any other substance on the atomizer, see if it will give us any other indication, because I'm not satisfied that there is an ephedrine concealment, so we'll investigate further. Okay, it's giving me a positive result for cocaine. To me, that makes a lot more sense. Very good concealment. I'd be much more inclined to say that's more likely to be cocaine concealed in that out of Thailand.
With Kane's suspicions about the concealment proved correct, all that remains is to carefully repack the car part and pass it on to the AFP for further investigation.
It makes it a good day when we keep these away from the public. So we're happy with that result.
At a property in Sydney's west, the police have been called to assist immigration officers as emotions are running high. Officers are trying to determine the identity of a woman found on the farm, possibly working illegally. The owner and his son have not made immigration's job any easier by not cooperating.
Where's this lady sleep?
Okay, thanks, interpreter. She's still not...
Where's this lady sleep? Huh?
Did you ask her?
She's not answering any questions.
Well, I can't answer any questions without my lawyer.
Yeah, talk to the lawyer.
Talk to my lawyer.
It's 4 hours into the operation and the woman still refuses to answer any questions. But officers are convinced they have the right woman. The police have arrived and the decision is made to take her away for a formal interview. This doesn't go over well with the son.
treat my father like a second-class citizen or I'll smack the out of you. Who started this country? All the wogs and Asians. You Australian dog, you are.
Immigration officers have done all they can at the property. The woman's belongings are collected and she will now be transported to the Villawood detention facility.
She's detained and we've got to go now. We don't want to force her in the van, but we need to go now.
Officers have one last warning for the father and son.
We've got to give this illegal working warning notice to your father. There's a possibility that there could be a fine in the future if you continue this practice, okay, of employing illegal workers. So I'm going to give it to your father.
After a formal interview at Villawood Detention Centre, the woman was confirmed as an unlawful non-citizen who had been illegally in Australia for 13 months. She has since been returned to China. Due to the threat of drug smuggling and terrorism, scrutiny of passengers at international airports is becoming increasingly tight, as this man arriving from the United States is about to find out. His behaviour has caught the attention of customs.
Do you know what's in there? It all belongs to you?
As far as I know, yeah.
Let's get you to pop anything in your pockets up on the bench to start with. So you're here for 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Is this your first time out here, or?
Yes. No, not done before.
You're going to spend all your time in Melbourne, or are you going to move around?
I hope to see more of Australia than just Melbourne.
Yep, fair enough. Where else do you want to go?
I'd like to see Sydney. I'd like to see the Great Barrier Reef.
Okay. How are you going to go see all your tourist attractions? Have you got anything booked? Like, are you going to hire a car or anything like that?
I haven't done anything yet.
No worries. So how much money have you brought with you on this trip?
I have some cash.
Yep. So how much would that total up to roughly?
Probably about 1,200.
1,200? Okay.
And that leaves officers wondering if it's enough to fund his extensive travel plans during his 15-day stay.
And you still want to go up to Sydney as well?
I don't know. I'm not having a good experience right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was that?
I just find this real intrusive.
Yeah?
Customs aren't only on the lookout for narcotics. There are many prohibited items on their hit list. Today, at Adelaide's Sea Cargo Examination Facility, officers have chosen one particular import for closer inspection.
See handles, and up the top here you can see could be edged weapons in there, and we've got other blades down the bottom here. They're definitely edged weapons. And you can see something in the handle there, so there could be something concealed in the handle. So it looks like there's a lot of edged type weapons here that we'd have to look at to see if they're prohibited. We'll definitely flag that one for a closer look.
Officer Paul will now use a different X-ray machine to inspect the goods in closer detail.
These ones here look like daggers. These look definitely nasty blades, these ones. There's just so much of the same stuff there that we'll have to open it up.
Quarantine officers at Sydney Airport have just received an interesting tip-off. This passenger, flying in from Korea, was seen around the baggage carousel concealing something in her jacket, and quarantine does not take this sort of thing lightly.
The reason that we're searching her is that on the X-ray, firstly, some items, food items have come up on the X-ray screen which she hasn't declared. So we're going to have a look at all her luggage. Secondly, we received some information that perhaps this lady's got some items that might be tucked into her jumper. So we're just going to have a chat with her and see if we can see what she's carrying today.
Quarantine's interest was aroused by a tip-off from a passenger who says he saw the woman putting something in the pocket of her jacket.
While she was in the line, she actually put seeds in her pockets around the jacket that was tied around her waist that she concealed them while she was in the line. He was behind her.
He didn't see where she got them from?
No.
Right,
no,
okay.
Just informed me that they were in the pockets.
So quarantine starts their search with the jacket tied around the passenger's waist.
Can I have a look at this one here? Yeah? Okay. She surrendered it fairly easily, so I don't think she knows that there's too much of a problem with these.
Oh, okay, we've discovered it.
And thanks to the tip-off, officers have discovered a brazen concealment.
And you still want to go up to Sydney as well?
I don't know. I'm not having a good experience right now.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, why is that?
I just find this real intrusive.
Yeah?
In Melbourne, Customs are examining a passenger who may have brought with him more attitude than funds.
Surely the measures here would be similar to back home?
I don't know. I haven't flown out of the country, so...
Okay.
Coming from the USA, I wouldn't expect this kind of...
Unfortunately, it doesn't matter what country you come from, everyone's subject to examination.
I just think the questions are a little... personal and...
Yeah, fair enough, but I'm just trying to establish if you're here for legitimate travel reasons or if you're not. So by asking these questions, I can establish that. So you said that you had friends here?
Yeah.
Okay. Who were they?
Friends that I've had for years, started out as pen pals and...
Yeah, okay, so have you met them before?
Oh yeah, they've been to the States.
Okay. Just grab the next bag up for us.
You won't have to worry about doing this ever again.
Why is that?
Not with me, because I don't think I'll be coming back to Australia.
Yeah?
Really. I don't think I'll have
turned you
anything
off.
good to say.
Yeah? It's turned you off that much?
Yep.
Back at quarantine, officers have found a large amount of seeds hidden in the pockets of a jacket belonging to this Korean passenger.
It looks like some sort of seed. There's some either grain husk or flour husk. I'm not sure, but it's in her pocket.
They're a seed as well.
They're a seed as well. There you go.
Seed as well. There's two different types of seed.
Is that to eat or to grow? In the garden. Yes. Grow it in the garden. Oh, okay. No.
Bringing seeds into the country and not declaring them is bad enough, but hiding them with the intention of growing them presents huge risks for our native flora.
Our most important task, though, is to make sure we get all of it, because from what we seem to have communicated, they are for growing. We don't know what they are, so they could contain any number of diseases that could be a threat to Australia's agriculture. What about her jeans pockets?
Do you feel there may be something in the jeans pockets?
I think she might, because she knew when we started looking. She knows she's got it.
This one's here. Any more in your pockets?
In here? You got any more? More? Good. And the other one? Good. Any more? In your bag? No?
I'm pretty sure that this is the only clothing that it's in.
Where did they come from, though? To actually tuck them into her pocket for the person to observe it. That's that's my concern.
And the officer is right. They have come from somewhere, and there's more of them.
Oh, hang on a second. I don't know if this is medication. That's not medication.
In Adelaide, Customs are opening boxes imported from China, declared as ornamental swords. But each item they unpack is a dangerous weapon.
We've gone through it all and we've got a total of 60 cartons of different items, and we've got a selection of them here. When you face value, it just looks like a staff or some obscure object, but once you pull it apart, you get the concealed samurai sword blades. They're prohibited, definitely out.
Each box they open turns up more disturbing items.
Be probably another one of these fantasy style knives. There's a little latch on it. Do the latch, and she comes out and it locks into place. So it's quite a nasty piece, this one. That one's another one of these fantasy type knives. They describe it as ornaments, but they're definitely not ornaments. What we'll do next is we've referred it on and it looks like because of the quantity of it and the severity of what we found, there's going to be some warrant action undertaken.
Investigators know where this importation was destined, and they suspect it's not the first illegal shipment to go to that address. So now the search warrant team is briefed by the Customs Investigations Officer.
We'll have 25 Customs officers, 8 Customs vehicles, and as attachments we'll have 2 South Australian police officers plus their vehicle and equipment. The offences we're looking at are a Tier 2 offence, $275,000 penalty and/or 10 years imprisonment.
As Customs are dealing with weapons, this search could be dangerous, so officers need to be prepared for anything. In quarantine, Officer Rosemarie has just come upon an unexpected surprise in a passenger's handbag.
This is not medication. This is what appears to be seeds put in a medication bottle.
That's a definite concealment.
That's not where you would expect to find seeds. Combined with this, we'd really have to question what the purpose of this lady bringing these things in is. It would appear to me to be a concealment. I suppose when we're looking at the seeds here in her pockets, we could take that as a form of just carrying it, but now we've found other seeds in the medication bottle. That might change things a bit.
The seeds in the medication bottle indicate to officers that the passenger is intentionally concealing the seeds and trying to deceive quarantine.
The level of risk is quite serious here, so it's just changed from having these in her pocket to having more quarantine risk material. It's become quite a serious issue now.
Customs are searching the bags of a man from the US, here to visit his pen pal, and he's not happy with their questioning.
I don't like it. I think they go a little too far. I think they're a little too personal. I think they go through your stuff a little too personally. And to tell you the truth, this is my first time in Australia, and I was excited to get here, and I wouldn't come back.
I think you're going to find that with all countries that you travel to nowadays, that all security measures have increased.
I guess there's enough to see in the United States. I don't need to go anywhere else.
Pardon?
I guess there's enough to see in the United States. I don't need to go anywhere else.
Fair enough. I can understand what you're saying.
You don't have to patronise me. I'm just.
Pardon?
You don't have to patronise me. I'm just telling you.
I'm not trying to patronise you at all, sir. I'm just trying to tell you, right, that what I'm doing here, if I went to visit the United States, it would be the same. It's the same everywhere.
As the bag search is completed, officers make a decision to validate the man's story with his friend outside.
Well, it's in your hand. You're trying to locate somebody that...
Yep, no, we're just locating your friend out the front and we'll be 2 more seconds and we're all done. All right? If you've got any concerns, please let me know.
It's just you've left a bad taste in my mouth, that's all.
No worries.
I wouldn't come back to Australia.
In Sydney quarantine, Officer Rosemarie has now found another type of seed hidden in the passenger's handbag, which means she's probably intentionally concealed the seeds, and that's a serious offence.
These look like beans, so they're definitely a quarantine risk because it's a viable seed. Could bring any disease to Australia. This one's got holes or something in it, and that actually looks like that could possibly be an insect there. So we'd probably have an infestation risk as well. These are in the medication bottle, Brian. That looks like it's got an insect. So I'm going through all of it now.
Yep, that's been infested.
Yeah.
The officer believes the passenger has tried to deceive them.
I'm fairly convinced she understands that she had these items, and that when I asked did she have any more, she was quite adamant she didn't have any more.
Okay.
I think she's aware that this is not allowed. My other issue is storing it in another product, in another container, really does indicate some level of concealment, combined with that being in pockets.
And actually being put in here in her pockets once she arrived.
So knowing, and where did it come from?
The seeds will be destroyed. But before the passenger can continue on her holiday, she might have to part with some of her spending money.
We're going to issue her with a quarantine infringement notice today, $220.
Not only did the passenger fail to declare, she also attempted to hide prohibited seeds.
Yep.
But officers could have missed this concealment if they hadn't received a tip-off from an observant passenger.
Basically, he's seen somebody putting seeds in her pocket, the passenger in question, and he's actually reported it to us, which it's not something you see every day, but it's appreciated because it just makes our job a little bit easier. We may or may not have been able to pick those up without that assistance due to the fact that she did have them concealed in something wrapped around her waist.
Customs have found a container from China packed full of dangerous weapons. They believe this may not be the first import, so they're preparing to search properties across Adelaide looking for more prohibited items.
Well, at the moment we're about to take part in multiple warrant actions, and we'll be trying to coordinate those warrant actions so that we have the teams entering at the same time. The team we're with at the moment will be going in with customs search and seizure warrants. And in a warrant action like this, where we are talking about a commercial quantity of weapons, obviously the possibility of weapons being present and being used is topmost in people's mind. Officers will deploy with personal defensive equipment in recognition of that risk.
Teams will search 2 residential properties and 1 commercial address under the coordination of Officer Alex.
Yeah, go in now. Okay, good luck. What will happen now is that the warrant entry team will go up to the front door. Obviously, arriving at this time in the morning, we don't know what reaction we're going to receive, and we don't know who is going to be present and how many people are going to be there.
In Melbourne, officers have confirmed the travel plans of this frustrated American passenger after speaking with the man's friend outside.
You're right to go again. Sorry about the delay, but as I hope you can understand, we need to just check everything out.
Thank you, practicing is disgusting.
Have you been treated rudely or inappropriately at any stage?
I think you're overbearing, and I think you're delving a little bit into people's lives.
But the officer wasn't rude to you at all? Like, at least, did he treat you in a courteous manner when he asked the questions?
He's doing his job.
Yeah, you do understand we're doing a job here, and we try to do it with as least intrusive as we can, but there are times we need to ask questions.
People that are going to come here and spend money in your country and brag about it when they go back home, you're not going to get that from me.
Okay, well that's fine, but we need to do all our relevant checks, all right?
You're the one that goes sleep at night.
Yep, well I've got no worries with that.
Okay. Good luck to you, mate.
Despite only being held up briefly, the passenger remains a bit grumpy.
Well, I'll see what I want to see and hopefully have a good time and try to put this out of my head, but if anybody asks me about Australia, I wouldn't have anything good to say from this experience.
He said to me, hopefully I can sleep at night. Well, I can sleep at night a lot better knowing that now he's fine and clear to go rather than letting someone through with something they shouldn't have.
You keep that side, Ryan, you take that side now.
Teams of customs officers are simultaneously searching several properties where they suspect illegal and dangerous weapons are being stored.
I'm conducting inquiries into a recent importation of yours. Can we come inside and have a chat and I'll explain things a bit better?
One location being investigated is this suburban home.
Some of these doors appear to be locked. Can we make sure those doors are open for us, please?
And inside the locked room, officers discover even more items of concern. The room is filled with prohibited goods, some potentially lethal. And there's more outside. The shed and garage are stacked to the roof.
Any machetes, any swords, any axes?
Machetes all on the other side.
In the other shed? Okay.
We found quite a quantity of weapons, commercial quantity of edged weapons that we have seized as prohibited imports. There's quite a variety of weapons there, from bush knives, trench knives, throwing knives, similar items to the original import.
Customs successfully executed 3 raids across Adelaide, And as well as the container seizure, there was almost 1,000 dangerous prohibited items recovered.
It's certainly one of the largest seizures in South Australia that we've had, particularly of edge-type weapons, which all of these sort of fall into that category. There is no control on who the end user will be. It could be gangs, it could be individuals, we just don't know. It could be children. We don't know where the weapons will be going, but the potential for misuse is quite obvious.
So you've had a couple of drinks on the flight, haven't you? So how much were you talking about?
I had 9.
This Aussie returning home from the Philippines has caught the eye of customs.
Sakis. 9 Sakis. Yeah.
So just the sake?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, it's a good gin, man.
Okay. So all the medications that you've got, are they prescription medications?
Viagra is for the blue vein sausage.
Yeah.
And that's for anxiety.
So you got a bit of palpitations in that?
Yeah.
You seem to be doing pretty well at the moment anyway.
Because I'm full of piss.
Fair enough.
So what happened here?
I fell down some stairs.
Fell down some stairs?
I got a cracking bone again.
Was that overseas or did you do it here
No,
before
here
you
in the
left?
Philippines.
Oh, okay.
Philippines, then I come here, yeah.
So in total, how long have you been overseas for?
Oh, about 3 months.
You've stated on here, sir, that you're retired.
Yeah.
Yeah, what you do before you retired?
I own 2 hotels.
All right. Hotels in pubs or?
I'm a rich.
Fair enough.
But money.
Good stuff. Half your luck.
So have you ever had any trouble with the law before, sir?
Oh, yeah, I smoked a bit of herder before.
At Sydney Airport, immigration is talking to 3 passengers who have all travelled here together from Malaysia for a holiday. But officers are concerned they have other plans.
Do you have any children?
No, not married yet.
Not married?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you been here before?
Yes.
What was the purpose of that trip?
In very similar circumstances, Mr. Koo travelled here a year ago with 2 other people, and he stayed just a few days. Now, Officer Paul has also discovered that he's only recently met his travelling companions.
I guess the question I need to ask is that you have come all the way to Australia with 2 people that you don't really know. That seems a bit strange to me. You've only met 5 or 6 times at the most.
Yes.
To me, that's a very, very big step to go overseas with somebody in such a situation.
Okay.
Even to the point where you paid for their tickets. One of them you've only met, I think, twice, you told me, and yet you've put up 3,000 ringgits. That's taking on quite a lot for you, though, isn't it? If you don't know her, she might have decided not to go. She might have caused some kind of fuss. She might not have paid you back.
Okay. Yes, I'll be losing 6,000 over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There is a message in your mobile phone which reads something along the lines of, back in 3 days, taking 2 customers, go to Australia. Can you explain to me what that means?
Impossible. You mean someone sent me this one?
Packages coming into Australia will be processed at the International Mail Centre, where highly trained customs officers are on the lookout for anything unusual. A package from Colombia has sparked some interest because it's a known source country for narcotics.
It appears to be metal parts with something here organic, but it looks like inconsistencies.
Australia Post opens the package so customs can examine its contents further.
Now let's have a look.
On inspection, it appears to be a professionally manufactured motor part, headed for an address in Sydney's North Shore.
But so I think we will need to X-ray one item. It appears that there's an orange colour here, which indicates to us the presence of organic matter, and being a metal engine part doesn't seem to fit. So we'll need to drill to see what the organic matter is.
Have you ever had any trouble with the law before, sir?
Oh, yeah, I smoked a bit of herder before.
Okay. So, anything else? So, anything in your pockets too, there? So
No,
any
look if you want.
phone
I got a wallet, yeah.
So you got charged when you were younger for just using a bit of dope. When was the last time you used any drugs of any kind?
Oh, rarely I do with drugs.
Yeah.
Cocaine, if someone's got it, because it's a good drug. You tried it?
I'll take your word for it, mate.
Man, it's nice. It's like...
You ever dealt it?
No.
So just use it?
Yeah. Have a snorkel. Hey. Yeah, I don't do shit, man. I don't need your drugs. Look at...
Friends who...
Have a look at me history, mate. I inherited millions of dollars, dude. I don't need to drill shit. The only thing you'll find in there that you could possibly take off me is it's in there, dude.
Yeah. Can you tell us what it is before you take it out?
Oh.
When this passenger stepped off a flight from Hong Kong, her nervous behaviour caught the attention of customs officers.
When you got off the plane and you saw us all standing there, you got very, very shocked. Why are you so shocked to see us?
The airplane go around circle make me high. My blood go up. I'm very headache already.
Do you want a glass of water? No. You sure?
Yes.
A bag search reveals some interesting documents. This manicurist has packed a valuation certificate for a $14,000 ring. Officer Cynthia consults her supervisor.
So why does she carry this?
Well, she said in case she gets asked. So where did you get $14,000 to buy a ring?
You know how I work how long? 16 years in Canada. I work 16 hours a day, 7 days a week.
Okay.
I have something wrong.
Why are we just having a look?
Oh my gosh.
At Sydney Immigration, a disturbing pattern is emerging as Officer Paul is discovering more details about this passenger, who is travelling with 2 female companions. Immigration suspect that the passenger might be involved with escorting illegal workers into Australia.
We have found that he travelled to Australia last year with 2 other passengers. Our departmental records indicate that those 2 passengers are still on shore in Australia, and their visas would have expired at the most 3 months after they arrived. So they've been on shore in Australia for quite some time unlawfully. It's very possible that he's doing the same thing today. He's got 2 more friends that he's arrived with. That's what we need to investigate. Your previous travel to Australia, did you travel alone on that trip when you came to Australia?
Oh no, I travel with friends.
Okay, what are their names?
Husband and wife.
What are their names?
Eddie Tan.
When did you last speak with Eddie?
He's in KL now. Until today, I mean, he not yet contacted me.
There was a message, a couple of calls to your phone today from someone called Joni. Johnny. Who is Johnny?
A friend.
Okay, is he in Malaysia or Australia?
Malaysian.
Does he know the 2 ladies you're travelling with?
No.
Okay. And yet Johnny's phone number is in the phone belonging to one of the ladies.
Really?
Yes.
I have no idea at all, this one. Totally no idea at all.
I believe that in some way they are probably your customers.
My customers?
Indeed. It is a very serious matter, sir, and you need to be honest with me.
So that means if I'm honest with you, you will be allowing me, or you still...
Sir, There is no if. You must be honest with me.
Okay.
There is no if, sir.
A passenger who has enjoyed one too many in-flight beverages has also admitted to recreational drug use, and now he seems uncomfortable with something in his bag.
Can you tell us what it is before you take it out?
Yeah, it's a.
What's the nature of it? Is it?
It's a DVD. It's a porn and it's shit, man. You can put it in the bin. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah, look at this shit. Look at it in the back there.
Anything objectionable in it, like any underage?
No.
Nothing at all?
It's shit.
The DVD will be given to an officer trained in censorship to determine if the pornographic material is permitted.
Well, when we get pornographic material through, we do have certain things that contravene our legislation, so it's something that we do pay attention to when it comes across the border.
Officers decide to conduct a drug swab of his belongings.
Okay, clear again. So is there anything on this you're interested in?
No, that's fine.
Okay, well, good, we can give it back to him. We had a look at all the items that he had. Nothing interested us, so we're quite happy to give it back. Okay, we've had a look at the discs. Nothing on there we're interested in, so thanks for your patience. I think he was playing for the crowd a little bit, so we have to take all these factors on board. It can be a lot worse than that. He was pretty good because, as we saw, he's pretty amiable, so he's pretty easy to deal with.
Thank you very much.
Customs officers at the Sydney Mail Centre are examining the contents of a package from Colombia after an X-ray image showed inconsistencies.
It's all welded together. There's nothing I can unscrew.
Officer Beverley has no other option than to drill to get through the metal into the organic matter.
And we won't drill on the outside in case it does turn out that there's narcotics in it and we'll need to do a controlled delivery. So we'll drill inside, anywhere down here in the centre would be the go, and then we can fill it back up and plug it.
Customs officers have already found a valuation certificate for a very expensive ring, and now they are concerned about this passenger's travel movements.
What do you think's going on?
I don't know, something's going on. I don't know. She's been to Vietnam, gone through Macau, gone through Hong Kong. She's met a friend in Macau. The friend's still in Macau. Yeah, it's just all very odd. Have you had any contact with drugs while you were in Macau or Vietnam?
No, I don't know nothing. I'm a clear person. I do a lot of things. Oh my God. I'm just not terrible person. I just go visit her and do a lot of things.
That's all right. We didn't say you're a terrible person. We're just checking.
In my life, I never see the drug. I never
see drugs ever?
I never. In my life, I now stay away.
Drug detector dogs are brought in to check her clothing and her bags.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
The dogs don't react, but that doesn't mean this search is over. They test her bags and belongings for traces of narcotics.
Have a lot of people do fast. I don't check, just check wrong person.
We're just checking.
Yeah, you do wrong person.
So that means if I'm honest with you, you will be allowing me, or you still...
Sir, there is no if about being honest.
Okay.
If you are not honest, there is no way I will be comfortable with letting you enter the country today.
You give me a minute, see how I construct the truth.
Sir, you don't construct the truth. You tell me the truth.
I'll tell you the truth.
Tell me the truth now, sir. Tell me the truth.
Okay. So actually, the truth part is that I come here for holiday. Johnny found out that I'm coming to Australia. He told me that he has friends. So Johnny asked me to do him a favor, bring these two ladies to Australia.
When did you first meet the two ladies then?
Last week.
So what is Johnny paying you? How much is Johnny paying you to do this trip?
You're suspecting me that
That's what I think,
Johnny is
sir.
going to pay me
Yes, sir.
some money over
Because you would not do this if you were a genuine tourist. What I might do now, I will be serving you an official notice that I'm considering cancelling your visa.
No traces of drugs have been found on this passenger's belongings, but officers need to be sure she isn't carrying something on her.
You're detained for the purpose of a frisk search. Can you read this information card on both sides? Which I'll flip it over as well. If you've got any questions, you ask me, okay? Ears okay?
It's okay, I'm not
Okay. This officer will do the search. Just listen to the officer's instructions, okay?
Just going to pat down the outside of your clothing. Yeah. Okay, but what I'll ask you to do is to stand like this for me, okay? Thank you.
The frisk search reveals nothing unusual, but officers still need to work out if she may be carrying drugs internally.
Well, I mean, she's got all the indicators, let's face it. You know, possibly internal, maybe, or whether she's got something to do with the drug trade.
She's taken to a private interview room for further questioning.
No, we will have a talk to you.
Yes. Okay. That's it. Oh, there's white powder. Yeah, definitely white powder.
Customs officers are about to test a white powder found inside a motor part sent from Colombia.
Now this one, if it flashes, blue and pink, we've got a positive. And we have a positive this time.
It's a very clever and professional concealment.
It looks like it's been made in the factory because it hasn't been welded over the top and there's no dirty burrs, etc. So it looks like, yeah, factory made job. It looks brand new. Pretty good concealment. It looks like it's pretty good find.
After a 30-minute private interview, customs officers are satisfied this passenger is not carrying anything illegal.
I started to question her further in relation to her general demeanour, in relation to how she normally is, and it came out then that she's a nervous type of person.
This is your daughter?
My daughter.
And who's this one?
Friend.
A friend?
The passenger also managed to ease officers' concerns about her diamond ring.
We thought it may have been a gift from someone that has actually paid for the ring as payment for importing an item for them. But through questioning it was later discovered that she could afford the ring.
She's been given the all clear, and now she is off to enjoy a surprise visit with her sister.
Enjoy your holiday.
No, I understand.
Okay, thank you.
Your friend's out there with his McDonald's.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
In immigration, Mr. Koo appears to have been trying to help two passengers enter the country to work illegally, and it may not be the first time he has done it. He will now need to give a good reason to Officer Paul if he is to continue on what he still maintains is his holiday.
What would you like to say?
Okay, as per the Convention to the Rights to the Child, the best interest of any child in Australia under 18 years of, okay, just now you've been asking me, am I married? Actually, I already divorced, but I have 2 kids.
Right. So what you're telling me is that you told me before you were single with no girlfriend.
Yep. Because I have 2 kids, I have to take care of that 2 kids.
You told me not married.
Yeah.
You told me no children. This is related to this decision today. The best interests of any child in Australia. Your children aren't in Australia; they're in Malaysia.
Yes.
Their welfare today will not impact on this decision.
Yes, but is there any way for not cancelling my visa?
Is any of this incorrect?
No.
So now Paul has enough information to make his decision if Mr. Koo is on a holiday or back on a plane.
Okay, Mr. Koo, I have considered what you have told me in your reply to my notice, and I have taken your comments into account in making my decision. And I have come to a decision. In summary, I have decided that I will be cancelling your visa today, and as a result, you will be returned to Malaysia at the earliest possible opportunity. Do you have any final questions?
Question, because the decision is already made.
Yeah, it's
There's nothing
straightforward.
else to say anymore, isn't it?
Yeah, it's straightforward. It's never an easy decision to make, but this one was fairly straightforward today in that the information he provided made a very simple case for it. He was here not as a genuine tourist, he'd brought these people with him, and so there's really no other decision I could make. I'm not sure what will happen with his travelling companions. I believe they're also being interviewed and may well lead to a cancellation as well.